Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Anton Analysis, and today we're going to be doing 3 Days Grace's new track, Mayday, which is actually their first track where Adam Gontier is returning to the band. And for anyone that doesn't know 3 Days Grace, they were pretty much top 10 rock band in the 2000s, like them, Rise Against, Linkin Park, Nickelback. They were one of the biggest bands in rock and wildly successful. Then they lost their main singer, which created like this uproar everywhere, and he just came back. So this is a big moment for all the 3 Days Grace fans. So anyway, let's get into 3 Days Grace Mayday. And that's right now Animal I Become, right? Yeah. That's good.
Welcome to the end, just take a number. Just get used to the influence you're under. It's the same old story of wanting it all, but it's never enough. The more you know, you know, you know nothing. We walk like dead people who haven't died yet. We ride like passengers without a pilot. We be losing our minds, but we all try to hide it. It's hard to keep fighting when you're barely surviving.
That's a great acoustic riff.
For your rights and your privilege, and follow the leader right off the cliff's edge. All your dreams are down below, buried under broken bones. The more you know, you know, you know nothing. We walk like dead people who haven't died yet. We ride like passengers without a pilot. We be losing our minds, but we all try to hide it. It's hard to keep fighting when you're barely surviving.
So much like Animal I Have Become.
Calm down, we'll be okay. Just some turbulence, we're on our way.
That's really good symbolism.
Not today, will you ever say Mayday? We walk like dead people who haven't died yet. We ride like passengers without a pilot. We be losing our minds, but we all try to hide it. It's hard to keep fighting when you're barely surviving. Dead people who haven't died yet.
Ooh.
We ride like
Nice halftime.
without a pilot. We be losing our minds, but we all try to hide it. It's hard to keep fighting when you're barely surviving.
All right, so that was 3 Days Grace Mayday. So that was very good. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed that. Reason why I'm using those words very specifically is I realize I think I throw around the word love way too easily, to the point where when I actually do find something that's like absolutely phenomenal, it's like I've lost all of my currency. But this was incredibly enjoyable. I think that's accurate because actually, as Melly and Daphne, what you guys originally said was this is a very poppy song. I love that because I love a good catchy melody. And yeah, it was just a very catchy song. But it actually was interesting. Like that main riff at the beginning, really just catchy rock riff. Like I wouldn't call it like a metal riff. Like it's not like a twin harmonized lead guitar kind of thing, like a Metallica or a, an In Flames or melodic death metal. Like it's not that kind of thing. But for like your, I don't know what you'd call it, like your radio rock, your hard rock, like it's just it's a really catchy hard rock riff. And then bringing in the acoustic guitar was really cool. Not expecting that. And I feel like in so many ways, this song was a great throwback to all of the different eras of 3 Days Grace, or actually not all the eras, the Adam eras. Specifically 1X, because the acoustic guitar reminds me of Never Too Late. Like again, similar guitar tone as well. I need to go back and actually give it a proper listen again. But on first glance, I think of, similar guitar tone. And just the fact that they're using an acoustic guitar in the verse just brings to mind Never Too Late. And there's another thing as well. Something else was a callback to 1X. Anyway, I'll move on to the verses. So Matt and Adam, I thought, played off each other really well. If I'm being honest, I think Adam shined because I found his verse melodies had more. They were more dynamic. I think they had better, I don't know what the word would be, flourishes. You know what I mean? Like, they had a little bit more texture. They had more of a dynamic range to them. And there's a little bit, I don't know if I'd say there was vibrato. There might be. I'd have to go back. But there was some nice melodic flourishes in his vocals where Matt, it's almost, I see it like, in comedy when you have like the straight man and then you have like the zany one. I almost find sometimes like you need somebody to play the straight vocal, which was Matt, so that you give your other vocalist some time to shine, because Matt was just holding down the bass line. And then when we get into the chorus, just catchy chorus. And also, before we get in the lyrics, I wanted to make a quick note of the video. So at first, during the bridge of the song, when you got the women who just randomly start stripping and dancing, I was like, what the hell? But then it occurred to me that that's actually fantastic imagery, because the whole song is about our world is crumbling and we're being told to just ignore it. We're being told, oh, inflation, like everything's double price. Hey, it's not a big deal. Like, don't worry about it. You're fine, right? Like I feel as society is collapsing in some ways, we still live in the first world, but we have a lot of problems since COVID, especially with all the money printing that happened. And then now inflation is going up. And so the reason why I'm talking about that is this entire song, Mayday, is about the fact that the world is collapsing. All these systems, these societal systems that we all took for granted, that we were all told, oh, this is just how the world works. We're starting to see the cracks in the foundations of everything. We first saw it with the crash in the late 2000s, and then COVID, and it's like we're seeing more and more cracks in the foundation. And again, it's just a lot of gaslighting. A lot of people are just saying like, hey, nothing's going on. And then that's where the imagery of the women dancing provocatively, getting all of the people's attention as the plane is flying down and crashing, they're dancing and like, hey, just look at us, right? So that's, I see the dancing women as a metaphor for bipartisan politics, right, left, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, the puppet masters, controlling both sides. And so again, I just think that the imagery in the video is just great. So that's what I get in this one. But let's jump in the lyrics now. All right. So briefly mention this, but this has a powerhouse of producers producing this. So you got Howard Benson, obviously produced 3 Days Grace. He produced Daughtry. He produced some of In Flames' recent stuff. Howard Benson, My Chemical Romance, The All-American Rejects. So he was one of the biggest rock producers in the mid-2000s when 3 Days Grace was at their pinnacle, at their peak. Legendary producer. Dan Lancaster is another phenomenal producer. He is best known more in the 2010s for his work with Bring Me the Horizon, Don Broco. He's done a handful of other bands that I listen to as well, but he's a very, very bright English producer. And I've never heard of Zach Cervini. Okay, so he's worked with Good Charlotte through Joel and Benji Madden. Let's dissect these lyrics. So we'll never say Mayday. Welcome to the end, just take a number. Just get used to the influence you're under. Everything I just said, yeah. Welcome to the end, just take a number. Just get used to the influence you're under. It's the same old story of wanting it all, but it's never enough. The more you know nothing. So this is the old maxim of the more you know how much little you know. I think that was Socrates or something. Some philosopher said that. I remember that. We walk like dead people who haven't died yet. This just rings true of society. Like, people a lot of the time don't have passions. They don't really have anything they're living for. They've given up on their hopes. They've given up on their dreams. They work jobs they hate for corporations that they have no alignment with. They don't believe in the higher ideal of the organization. We ride like passengers without a pilot. So again, another good line. We're just like passengers, and we think that we are following leaders and government institutions that are leading us properly. But in reality, a lot of the time, the people that claim to be looking out for our best interest are not at all looking out for our best interest. And so we're just giving up all of our power thinking that we're safe, when really no one's really steering the ship very well. We be losing our minds, but we all try to hide it. And this is like the whole thing of, lemmings in society. This is the whole thing is, a lot of the time, if you point out potential problems that you're seeing in society, if you're the black sheep and you stand up for yourself and you start to point out, hey, maybe this thing is a little bit corrupt, or where's all that money going? Oh, United States they're sending all this money to Ukraine, and then they lose, $6 billion? I think it was like $6 or $8 billion. I have to look up that, don't quote me on that. I don't remember the exact statistic, but I remember an insane amount of money. And then we just shove that under the rug. We don't even talk about it. We don't think about it. Even like the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, there's so many things where it's starting to come out how really fucked up our society is, and how these people like Diddy, Jeffrey Epstein, these people that have these connections with all of these different spheres of society that, were friends and flying out, people in government, and various celebrity figures, public figures, all these things. And a lot of people don't question it. That doesn't mean that everyone that went to Jeffrey Epstein's island was in on it, but the fact that not many people are actually asking questions about these things is curious. But anyway, it's hard to keep fighting when you're barely surviving. Yeah, these are bang on lyrics. So this is the whole thing where, there's that whole idea of if you want to make a population very easy to corral, very easy to control, you just make them survive. Again, make it so it's challenging to live, that people don't have very much time on their hands because they're working all the time trying to pay their bills. Because if people are working all the time, they're not questioning things. And again, that is definitely more the conspiratorial angle. Like, that's more, for me to say that, that is definitely more the angle that the people who orchestrate aspects of society are doing so nefariously without our best intentions. I don't think that is always the case. I think it's sometimes the case, but I think there are fantastic people in government positions. I think there are fantastic people in all positions in all organizations. But when you look at, a lot of the people at the very tops of these organizations, a lot of them don't seem to have humankind's interests at heart. A lot of it is about profit. Just wait in line for your rights and your privilege, then follow the leader right off the cliff's edge. All your dreams are down below, buried under broken bones. The more you know nothing. And then here we go. Calm down, we'll be okay. Just some turbulence, we're on our way. We're going down, but not today. We'll never say Mayday. Oh, so I think this is like the, mainstream media, society, governments, effectively saying like they will never admit the problems that are truly going on in society. They'll never say Mayday. Now again, that's a whole other conversation because there's a certain level of responsibility about how we tell the public so we don't cause uproar and riots. But I think I'm always in favor of transparency and honesty. We live in a society where shit's going down. People are starting to see it. And the people in positions of authority in our societies are just saying, calm down, we'll be okay. Just some turbulence, we're on our way. And this is, again, the bridge when the women are dancing and trying to get everybody's attention as the ship's going down, as the plane's going down, to like, look at me, right? But we're still alive. We be losing our minds. We'll never say Mayday. So anyway, that was 3 Days Grace, Mayday. So overall, that was a highly enjoyable song. What did you guys think about it? So if you're a 3 Days Grace fan, what do you think of this? I feel like this really, again, harkens back to early 3 Days Grace, or like, maybe not early, but like definitely like 2006, 2009 3 Days Grace. Even like in some sense, like, pretty much up until Adam's departure, I would say. What do you think about this? What do you think of having Adam and Matt in the band now? What dynamics do you see that being able to play out in the future? And what do you think of the Matt Walst era of 3 Days Grace and the Adam Gontier? Because I think this is the best of both worlds. Now we got two great vocalists who can really play off each other really well. And for all of you that don't listen to 3 Days Grace, maybe don't even listen to hard rock music, what do you think about this? What do you think of the message? Because I feel like this is just a universal message that regardless of the kind of music you enjoy, I think this is a message that we can all get behind. But anyway, if you guys liked this video, feel free to like this video. And this is the kind of stuff we do on the channel. So we do, like I said, I host a podcast on the channel. I do, through the Anton Analysis, music reactions, podcast clip reactions, current event, that kind of stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you and you like this video, definitely consider subscribing and joining the community. And that's pretty much it. So links below for all social media. And if you want to get exclusive content, like we've actually done a full album reaction to 3 Days Grace's 1X. So if you want to check that out, link down below. And that's it. So I'll see all of you when I see you guys next. I love you. Take care.